Just days out from the election, the Northern Territory Ombudsman has broken with protocol and released a scathing report into a land development bungle in Darwin's rural area. Several blocks in the suburb of Herbert flooded last year, and the Ombudsman says the government knew the risks. The report says the land should never have been sold and the government must compensate residents. Phoebe Stewart reports.
Robin Bott and her partner built their dream home in Herbert last year, but when Cyclone Carlos dumped huge rains on the top end, water from a nearby lagoon flooded their piece of rural paradise.
Gut-wrenching time, it really was. It was very worrying. And then the water just sat there for months.
The Ombudsman investigated subdivisions like Robin Bott's after receiving several complaints of flooding since 2010.
And it came within 30 millimetres of entering the house.
The Ombudsman found the area was never suitable for subdivision, and the Lands and Planning Department knew of the risks and acted contrary to law, adding there is a moral imperative for the government to take urgent action.
The people who bought these blocks were entitled to assume that if the government agencies and processes had approved release of this land as suitable for residential building, then they had done so with appropriate due diligence, and clearly they hadn't.
I'm disappointed in, the people in the government that signed the box, ticked the box, signed off on it. It is disappointing because you do trust them.
The Ombudsman recommended the Territory Government acquire the land, that residents should be exempt from stamp duty on their new property, compensation to cover fees, accommodation and relocation, and the government investigate legal action against other parties involved in the developments. She says she felt obliged to release the report before it was tabled in Parliament because urgent action was needed before the next wet season.
The government, I think, needs to show some moral leadership here. Forget the legalities. These people lost because their departments didn't do their job. Fix it up and move on.
The government says it will implement all of the recommendations. Robin Bott doesn't want to sell, and she's pleased the government will build a deep drain at the back of her block to protect her home. Phoebe Stewart, ABC News.